Jhalfrezi is a stir-fried dish that was created in Bengal during the British rule. Though the original recipe was made with leftover roast meat, with time the recipe was adapted more to the eating habits of the local people, thus leading to various vegetarian versions of Jhalfrezi. Since I already have a chicken Jhalfrezi recipe on my channel, I thought it is high time to make a vegetarian version. So today we will be making vegetable Jhalfrezi. Namaskar and welcome to Curries with Bumbi. Heat 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil over medium-high heat. Once the oil turns hot, lower the heat to low and add a teaspoon of cumin seeds, that is jeera. The seeds should sizzle in the oil to release their aromatic oils. But see to it that they do not burn, because then the whole dish will turn bitter. As soon as you see the cumin seeds deepening in color, add finely chopped onions. Add 1/4 teaspoon of salt. The salt helps the onions to brown up faster by drawing out the water from the onions. You do not need to fry the onions to the point that they turn deep brown in color. When they start getting a little browning on them, add grated garlic and ginger. Now I have given all the ingredient proportions in detail in the description box below the video, so please do not worry. Stir the ginger and garlic on low heat for a few seconds and then add 1/4 cup of water because it is spice time, and that splash of water will prevent the spice powders from burning by bringing down the temperature of the pan. Add a teaspoon of turmeric powder. I use 2 teaspoons of Kashmiri red chili powder, but please adjust the proportion according to your preference. If you are new to cooking with chili powder, please add less to start with. Then I added a teaspoon of ground cumin, that is jeera powder, and 2 teaspoons of ground coriander, that is dhania powder. Stir the spice powders on low heat for a few seconds. Jhal in Jhalfrezi comes from the Bengali word jhal, which means spicy, coming from chili heat. But please do not worry, this is not at all a very spicy dish. Next, the pureed tomatoes go in. I blended some tomatoes in my blender jar. Now keep this covered on low heat till the pureed tomatoes thickens up considerably, and remember to come back to it from time to time and give a stir. Side by side, heat another large pan with 3 tablespoons of oil. And please do take a large pan or wok for this recipe. Since this is a stir-fry recipe, you want the vegetables to get well fried instead of steaming in their own juices. Once the oil turns hot, add carrots and fry them on medium-high heat. Chop the carrots into matchsticks like this, and as I said earlier, this is a stir-fry dish. Try chopping all the vegetables into similar size and thickness. Add the veggies, keeping in mind the time each vegetable may take to get cooked. Like for example, root vegetables take the most time to get cooked, so I added carrots first. Once you see small specks of browning on the carrots, it's time for the next veggie to go in. I use shiitake mushrooms. You can use any mushrooms, or you can also use fried tofu or paneer in this recipe. Fry the mushrooms for a few minutes. Then broccoli goes in. You can also use cauliflower, but in that case I would suggest blanching the cauliflower briefly and then adding so that it gets cooked faster. Next I used red and green bell peppers, that is capsicum. Now my friends, you can use any vegetables of your choice for this recipe, except eggplant or okra, which I don't think go well in a stir-fry dish like this. Fry everything on a fairly high heat. Side by side, do not forget to stir your base masala. As you can see, it is thickening up, but it needs to thicken up more. Once the broccoli starts getting a little tender, I added zucchini, and I also added salt at this point to season the veggies. My base masala has thickened up now, and this is exactly what we are looking for. I added salt at this point and a little bit of sugar which balances the flavors, but it is totally optional. You can switch off the stove at this point until you are ready with your cooked veggies. Finally, I added frozen green beans and peas. Since my frozen green beans and peas were blanched prior to freezing, I added them at the very end. Please note that your veggies shouldn't turn all mushy-dushy. They should be well cooked and tender, but not to the point that they are falling apart. The vegetarian version of this dish really looks very pretty with all those colors, so you do not want to overcook the veggies. That's the beauty of cooking a beautiful looking vegetable jalfrezi. Okay, all the veggies are now well cooked. So I switched off the heat and I will be now transferring them all to the base masala. Switch on the heat. Next I added a few slices of onions because I personally like the crunch of onions in this dish. Next I added a teaspoon of garam masala powder and then a teaspoon of butter. Butter is optional, but I love adding it. And look at this beauty. It is so colorful. I added half a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper and finally a good amount of coriander leaves or any herb of your choice, and you are done. My friends, please do try this recipe. It is such a healthy and beautiful dish. You can make use of any veggies that have been lying in your fridge for a long time. And this is such a great recipe to make bland and boring vegetables taste delicious. You can serve this as a side with hot steamed rice or roti. You can also serve it alongside roast chicken. It is really very delicious and I am sure you will like it. If you want to see the recipe for chicken jalfrezi, then please refer to the video that will be coming up on screen at the end. Bye-bye.